Right, people, I think we're going to do a little top 10 on my Montale fragrances today. So stay tuned, people, and let's see what my number one is. YouTube, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mikey Cologne. If you tuned in, thank you for doing so. Thank you for stopping by. I hope everybody is doing well and your year is getting off to a good start. Right, today I'm going to be doing 10 of my Montale fragrances, 10 being my least favourite to 1 being my absolute favourite. But I have to say this. When I say 10 is my least favourite, I still like the fragrance. A lot of these were literally splitting hairs. So I think they're all great fragrances, but obviously I do like ones over some other ones. So number 10, we're starting off with Amber and Spices. I've got my test strip, so I'm going to give it a spray. I've jotted down some notes just so I can sort of tell you a little bit about it. So in the top, you've got rose, nutmeg, agar wood, oud, you've got caraway, you've got amber, ebony wood and sandalwood. Right, this opens peppery, spicy from that nutmeg and caraway. And then that rose in there is giving it the slightest of florals of touch, literally just a rosy tone way in the back. The sandalwood and the oud is there, so it's woodsy, it's a bit peppery, spicy. There's a little bit of sweetness to this fragrance as well. Not overly sweet, but there is a little bit of a sweetness to this fragrance. I mean, this thing is great smelling, it really is. And this is a beast mode. Most of these fragrances I'm going to talk to you about today are beasts of fragrances. Like the projection's stupid, like 3 solid hours of projection. You're getting 9 to 10 hours of longevity on skin. But I had to put this at number 10 because, like I say, I still like it, but I prefer my other ones better. So coming in at number 10 is Amber and Spices. People, let me know if you've tried this one and let me know what you think about it. And I've taken all of the pins off the bottles because it's probably going to take too long to fiddle about with them and get them off. Number 10, Amber and Spices. Coming in at number 9 is Ood Tobacco. Right, this thing is another powerhouse. Let's spray this bad boy. Right, you got sambac, citruses and cumin. You got oud, orange blossom, incense, tobacco, tonka bean and oud. This opens spicy again from that sambac. Them citruses are literally way in the background, literally, and they are there and then they are gone. It is literally adding a little bit of freshness on that initial blast. You've got the incense, you've got the oud, and then that tobacco, it makes it a little bit smoky. The tonka bean is adding a little bit of sweetness to this fragrance and a bit of depth and a bit of warmth. This thing is another solid fragrance that will cut through the cold. This and Amber and Spices are definitely winter fragrances, 110%. But I had to put this at number 9 because I've obviously got better ones that I like. But that is Ood Tobacco coming in at number 8. I mean, coming in at number 9. God damn it. Coming in at number 8 is Fantastic Oud. Right, for an oud fragrance, this opens up a little bit bright and all I can think of is coming from the ambergris. Right, you've got agar wood in the top, tobacco, patchouli, incense, you've got rose, styrax, leather, ambergris and sandalwood. So this thing, you definitely get that oud, but like I say, it opens up bright and I think it's coming from the ambergris. But it's a little bit sweet. You get the tobacco. The tobacco ain't like the tobacco in Ood Tobacco. This is more, I think, of maybe a tobacco leaf because it seems a little bit more calmer. The incense in this ain't harsh. It's smooth, not too... People say sometimes an incensey fragrance can smell like the inside of a church. This doesn't to me. This is just a smooth incense with a little bit of a sweet, smooth tobacco. The patchouli in this, it comes off a little bit cakey on my skin, so it goes a little bit sweet. And then, like I say, you've got that touch of freshness in there. This obviously has oud in the name and oud in the note breakdown. And you do get oud, but this oud is so subtle. And it's like it's running through all the other notes. Instead of it being too dominant or way in the back, it just runs and blends through the other notes so well. This is a great smelling fragrance. It really is. And look at that bottle there. But like I say, this is coming in at number 8 because I've got some other bangers on the list. So that is fantastic oud. Coming in at number 7 is Oud Amazing. I don't know if you've noticed by now, but a lot of these titles have oud in the name. Man, this thing smells so goddamn good. I'm going to give this one a little bit of a spritz. I have to. This thing is an absolute banger of a fragrance. If you haven't tried Oud Amazing, people, that just sample this. I know these fragrances have been around for a few years now, but this thing, right? You got oud in the top. You got fig, pear, Sicilian orange. You got Sicilian bergamot, patchouli, orris, jasmine, grapes, Madagascan vanilla. You got leather, musk. This thing opens up leathery, oudy, a little bit musky, a little bit sweet, fruity. You definitely get that fig and pear. But this isn't like a fruit dominant fragrance. The way it's blended with the leather, the oud, it just comes off so well, especially on my skin. This thing smells fantastic. It really does. I'm splitting hairs now with these fragrances because I love all of these. But man, the fig and the pear, you get that orange. They don't linger around for too long, but it opens fruity, leathery, a little bit musky, a bit oudy, woodsy. This is a stunner of a fragrance, and it is called Oud Amazing, and this is an amazing fragrance. So that is number 7, people, Oud Amazing. Coming in at number 6 is another oud fragrance, and it is Red Oud. People, this thing is a jam. I'm telling you, I'm spraying this bad boy for sure. It opens creamy, powdery, a little bit oudy, you've got that rose in there, right? You've got oud, pepper, rose, saffron, cumin, sandalwood, orris root, vetiver. So like I say, it's creamy. You've got that saffron that's adding a little bit of a floral touch with that rose, and it's sweet. The orris root is making it a little bit powdery. The sandalwood is coming across a little bit creamy in here. In this, the way it's mixed with that orris. Man, this thing smells so goddamn good. It really does. And yes, there's oud in this, but it's not oud dominant again. It's blended with that rose and that saffron, and it just comes across smooth. The whole fragrance just comes across smooth, and it's a long-lasting one as well. Great for colder weather. That is number 6, people, and that is Red Oud. Coming in at number 5, right? I think all these fragrances are unisex, apart from a couple that do lean a little bit masculine. I think this one leans a little bit more on the feminine side, but man, this thing smells so good. It is Starry Night. The way this opens up, right, let me spray it and then I'm going to read you some notes. Right, you've got apple, bergamot, lemon, rose, patchouli, jasmine. You've got white musk, powdery notes and amber. So this opens sweet, fresh. You get that bergamot, you get a little hit of that lemon, that apple. It's like a green, crunchy, juicy, fresh, crisp apple. That that opening, it's a little bit musky, It's got slight floral touches to it. The patchouli in this tends to go more on the earthy side on my skin, as some patchouli can go sweet, cakey. The patchouli in this goes a little bit earthy on my skin, not really bad, but it does lean more on that side of the patchouli. This thing is a stunner of a fragrance, beast mode fragrance. This thing dresses up well. This is nearly an all year round fragrance. I wouldn't wear this in the blistering heat, but apart from that, I would rock this all year round. And it smells delicious. The way it opens up with that apple, it's just something else. So that is number 5, and that is Starry Night. Coming in at number 4, if you like Terre de Mes EDT, then I think you like this one. It is Red Vetiver. Right, this is basically, to me, near on the same as Terre de Mes EDT, but without the orange. This opens up. You've got that grassy, earthy, hay-like vetiver. You've got grapefruit in this, so it's got a little bit of bite to it, a little bit peppery. You've got patchouli and pure balsam in this, and when it starts to dry down a little bit, that pure balsam, however you pronounce it, and that patchouli gives this fragrance a little bit of sweetness. So it's earthy, a bit peppery. It's got that bite from that grapefruit. But like I say, once that starts to dry down, that patchouli and pure balsam start to show its face a little bit more, and it turns a little bit sweet. All in all, this is a great rounded vetiver fragrance. It's smooth. To me, this isn't harsh. There's no rough edges. It is blended really, really well. And that is number 4, and that is Red Vetiver. Coming in at number 3, we have hit the 3 spot. And if you're still with me, thank you very much. I've tried to make this video as short as possible. So if you're still there, thank you very much. Number 3 is Honey Oud. There is not much to say about this than this thing is absolutely fantastic. The way this smells, it's sweet, it's oudy, you've got that honey, that vanilla is adding a little bit more sweetness to the composition of the fragrance. This thing is a honey oud bomb, but the oud in this isn't skanky or barnyardy, it's smooth. On my skin, I get whiffs of the honey, then I get whiffs of the oud, then the honey. So it's like each note comes in and out, and then that vanilla is there, just like I say, adding a little bit more sweetness. This thing is a cozy, sexy fragrance. It really is. It's just, it deserves the 3 spot. Really, it could have been number 1 because I think it's that good, but I had to place it somewhere, and I think number 1 is a little bit better than this to me, but number 3 is Honey Oud. People, let me know what you think of this fragrance. Let me know if you think this is a keeper in your collection, because I've had it for a while now and this thing ain't going nowhere. Coming in at number 2, when this thing first come out, even after this thing come out, this thing got hyped in the fragrance community. It's been well sort of established as a great fragrance. It is Intense Cafe. There's not much to say on this other than if you like rose, oud, vanilla, amber, this fragrance is the way to go. The way this comes across, it just smells so goddamn good. It is so smooth, warm, it's a cuddly fragrance. Some people say it's like walking into a Starbucks or a Costa's. I say it's like cooking a coffee cake with that vanilla and that amber, which is adding more sweetness. The warmth, man, this thing is a stunning sweet fragrance. And like I say, if you appreciate coffee and rose, get your paws on Intense Cafe, because this thing is a banger and it lasts for ages. That is my number 2 spot, Intense Cafe. Coming in at number 1, this definitely doesn't need no introduction. My personal favourite in my collection of my Montales, and like I said, I like them all. I wear them all. But this one, Arabian's Tonka, man, this thing just smells so goddamn good. Talk about a cold weather gem. Seriously. You got saffron bergamot, you got oud, you got Bulgarian rose, you got sugarcane, tonka beans, amber, musk, and oak moss. This is like your rose oud combination. You've got that jammy Bulgarian rose in this. You've got that tonka bean that's adding more sweetness to the fragrance. You've got that sugarcane that's adding more sweetness to the fragrance. There's depth here, there's warmth, but this never ever comes across too sickly sweet. It doesn't. By the notes you would think, man, that's like diabetes in a bottle, but I'm telling you, it just comes across so well. It is literally like your rose oud combination, but jammy, sweet, warm, another cuddly fragrance. This would be great for a date night, and this thing is a beast. I get 12 hours out of this, probably easy. Like, I could spray it on at night. The next day, if I wake up, it's still on my skin. This thing lasts on clothes for a week. Seriously, it is that potent, but it smells good. It isn't harsh to the nose. It isn't pungent. The oud in here is smooth, subtle, just a great, great fragrance. And that is my number one. It had to be my number one because it is my most worn. And when it comes to winter, this is what I reach for first. And that is Arabian's Tonka. Right, people, thank you for sticking with me. If you did, I appreciate your time for watching. And remember, smelling good's always a pleasure and never a chore. Let me know what your favourite Montale is. I might do a top 10 Manzera video. I don't know yet. I'll think about it. I'll see you soon.